Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Mark Hilliard, and this is the Mystical Light cohort on the Arcanum. And tonight we have the absolute honor, yes, honor, of doing Karl's level 10 critique. Karl had to submit 5 images, and should he pass this tonight, he will go on to Sphere 1, which will happen in about a half hour to an hour. But his work's so good, we'll probably just fly through this really quick, okay? So, Karl, didn't think you were going to have to talk, did you?
I was shutting my mouth up.
No, don't work that way, man. Up until now, what have you thought of the stuff that we've done in Sphere 0?
A lot of it was elementary, but I understood the process you have to go through just to keep going, or else it wouldn't be fair to everybody else and that type of stuff. So I understood that. Just made the most of it, and had fun. It was a good excuse to go travel somewhere and take some pictures.
Oh God, that's a good motivational speech.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me share my screen here, and we'll just jump right into your images. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Lightning with that increases that fire danger, of course, also in place because of the hot weather that we're going to have for the next 7 days, guys. This is dangerous heat, so take it seriously. We'll let them out this contact. Yeah, sure. We'll get across the board there, scary stuff.
All right. See, I'm all ready.
That looks familiar.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they should. Did you get lots of feedback from the group on these images?
Yeah, I believe I got some excellent feedback on them. Yeah, a lot of it was depending on the image. It was probably the most feedback I've had in all since I've been here.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's talk about this image first. Tell me about this and where we're at, and what was your vision when you were standing there looking at the scene before you ever picked your camera up?
Not to freeze to death.
It was cold, huh?
Windy.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Northern California, north of San Francisco, Mendocino. This is the Mendocino Headlands. I know that means nothing to everybody. The town of Mendocino is right behind me. It's got a population of like 300 or something like that. Let's see, I lost you there. There you are. This is my first walk out to the Pacific Ocean, so to speak, after driving 14 hours or so and setting up camp, and this is what I saw.
Okay.
The view was just mind-blowing. Far from anything I was used to seeing. Obviously, it's overcast with a high fog. I thought that would be really detrimental, but in this shot, it really did well. The subject, so to speak, I think is going to be the greenery, and that's what I brought out in the price in the post processing. Everything else I took as the background for the flowers. It was still late spring when I took this, early June, late spring.
Okay.
The water, the turquoise was just. I should have used a polarizer. I didn't think to use it because it was so overcast, but stupid me. I would have got more turquoise out of the water if I did.
Oh, for sure. And it would have bumped the saturation of the greenery and the flowers up as well.
Yeah, that was a learning lesson.
Well, I mean, that's what we're all about. And the fact that you recognize that speaks volumes about you. Had you considered a long exposure here at all?
I'm trying to think because usually that's one of my first thoughts when I'm near the water.
Just a little bit, just to to get rid of this light chop, but still have those wonderful turquoises. In fact, having a longer exposure would have further enhanced that too.
I'm trying to think what this was shot at. I don't have that information in front of me. I
Well,
think it's a fractional of a second, isn't it?
I will tell you what it is. Oh, you stripped off the metadata values.
How can I do that?
When you save it, if you save it as JPG.
No.
Oh, hold on, me bad. I had them all selected.
Okay.
1/20th of a second, f11.
Yeah, it's fractional. My thinking, I think at the time was, since I was so far away from the water, I know I wanted to try and get into a fractional of a second. I thought that would do enough. My intention was not to completely smooth out the water, because I thought it would, the exact opposite of what you said. I thought it would take away from some of the colors that I saw.
Now, that would be true if there were waves breaking down here. But given that there aren't, there's just slight ripples, it would have actually enhanced the color.
Yeah, it was rather a peaceful Pacific Ocean, so to speak. Probably that's why it was named Pacific Ocean. I would like to come back here in the winter when we have winter storms, and that would just be epic, photographing the waves and whatnot that hit this part of the world.
Yeah, I like the fog in the background. My eyes keep going to this line here.
Interesting. Is it level or is it not?
Oh, no, it is indeed level.
Okay, I thought so too, but it's deceiving.
Yeah, and the reason my eyes are going to it is, for some reason, I'm looking at this to be a more serious player in the composition. Something inside my brain says, God, I'd like to see that line down here on the 1/3 line. But there would have been a side effect of that. You would have lost 1/3 down here and taken away from your main subject, which you said was the flowers and the greenery.
And it would have given me a lot more sky, which I didn't want to focus on in the image.
Right, because it's foggy. It's white.
Yeah.
But I just be aware that, you know, when we do see these lines like this, our subconscious plays weird tricks on us. But given the fact that this is your main subject, you made the right choice. I like the post-processing. I like the leading lines. We've got this C line coming in and then turning back out up here. And then, you know, we've got another line here turning to the right. We've got this line here of these bluffs. It's very pleasing. I like the detail that you've captured in the colors and the saturations in the flowers in the foreground too.
There's actually a series of 3 images on this. I took one from the bluff that we're looking at, and then another one going off left. And I was thinking of making a triptych out of it at a later date.
Oh yeah, that would be very nice, wouldn't it? Yep, I like that. Now, were there sea critters down there, seals and otters?
Yeah, I looked, but I didn't see any otters, even though they are prevalent in this area. There was, on the cliff off to the left side of the image, there was a raven's nest on the cliffside of all places. But my telephoto just wasn't strong enough, and the black of the birds was just too similar to the darkness of the cliff, so it just didn't work.
Okay. And then one other thing for your consideration, okay? This leading line here, the C that we've got coming in and then going out.
Yes.
You see how our eyes naturally follow this, but the browns on the side of the rocks here, they're kind of low levels. If you go in and consider using Vivisa and just putting a control point on these browns, and bumping the saturation up a little bit on these, and maybe on these greens out here too.
Bring them out a little more.
Yeah, bring them out a little bit more. I don't care about these over here. The reason I do here is because this is on this leading line that sees in and out.
Right.
And that would make it stronger visually. Other than that, this is just lovely. I mean, I really like this. I think that this is a nice capture. I think you've done a good job. Yes, a polarizer would have enhanced the surface of the water a wee bit. The fog adds without actually allowing as much detail in the background. So this works very well. I could see taking a lawn chair here and just sitting here and enjoying this scene for an hour or so and exploring all the plants.
The sea caves.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you would love the sea caves along this whole stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. The Pacific Coast is amazing for photography, isn't it?
God, I'm just infatuated with it. It's a real ocean compared to what I have here in LA.
Yeah.
But LA is the landscapers, photographers, capital of the world. So, I was surprised to see it anywhere else.
Over to Death Valley and.
Well, like I say, Los Angeles is the capital of landscape photography. So I should be a nerd to any scenery like this.
Yeah, no, this is very nicely done. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, tell me about this one.
This is a severely cropped image, and deservedly so. During the pre-critique, so to speak, it was brought out, and I'm glad they did because even I saw it afterwards. The original image had way too much sand off to the left. This is in the same area. This was taken right after sunrise. Pacific Coast Highway is just off to my right. The Pacific Ocean's about a quarter mile to the right. And this little river you see in the background is called Big River. And what caught my attention here was the low-lying fog. It was just, I wish I could show you more on the left, but I cropped it out completely. It was just amazing. The light was just, it was just one of those magical moments with light. So what I did was, and this is low tide, so the river actually gets this high, evidently. So obviously it's some pilings that lead out to the river. Something at one time or another was there. Tons of footprints and dog prints all over the place, as you could see. Thought about cloning a lot of those out, but it just would have screwed up the whole picture and distorted stuff. Rock in the background was very interesting, but I just didn't show the detail in my picture. So the image is a study in the fog, which I wish it would have captured more of, and the endpoints of the piling and just the perspective of the pilings.
Okay. I love the graduated tonality of the fog bank. I like how it starts out dark and it gets lighter as it goes out into the light.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is a masterful capture on your part. I like the format. There's nothing wrong with the square format. This works for me. And we have the implied leading line here starting at this piling and going out through these. So this all works. It's still nice to see a little bit of blue sky and some white clouds up there. The exposure on this is very pleasing. I do have a suggestion on this one. This is your main component in the composition right here.
Correct.
And given that we have this darker cloud, this darker fog bank here, and we have this dark piling up here, at least on the top.
Right.
I would go in with Vivisa and put a control point here. And see this light section of wood? Just lighten this going down to about here by adding a little bit of brightness and a little bit of structure. And it will help isolate this piling from the dark area of this fog bank behind it. It will give it a 3D feel, even though it's not. It will give it that look, and it's like, oh my God, that pilot is leaping off the picture at me.
I agree with you, and I think I tried doing that, but I didn't do it as far as you wanted to. That piling was pretty dark. It's charred as though it was on fire at one time.
Yeah, it
Uh,
does look like it was on fire, doesn't it?
yeah, and I believe I tried doing that, but maybe not to the extent that you're asking
See
for.
how I'm just structure. That's all that you need. See how
Yeah,
just putting some structure on there, it brings that white out.
sure did.
And we'll go down here. We'll put one here, and this one up here we might add just a touch of brightness. But you got to be careful of the brightness because it will slightly affect the fog bank. So simply put there an anchor on each side of that, and there we go. And here's before, and there's after. See how it makes this isolated
It does.
from the fog? Just that one simple edit.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the picture.
Okay. So yeah, that's something to consider. And I'm not saying that the image is bad. The image is beautiful as you presented it. But even in my own work, I can edit something and I can go back in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 3 months later, and I will see new in my post process. Okay, and you all do too, I'm sure. But like I said, this is what just leapt off the page, and it went, oh wow, we could really bring out something special in this one piling.
I remember my reasoning now. I think upon doing it, it's a cross lit. It's cross lit with the sun to the left, and my thinking was it may have been a little unnatural to put that much light on that side of it. But as you did it there, it works.
Yeah, and like I said, just on this white, nowhere else.
Yeah.
Now you could do it here on the side where the sun's hitting it and warm this up considerably, and that would look nice too. All right. But I really think that this is enough to give yourself a bit of separation between here and this fog bank.
Okay, I see exactly what you're talking about.
All right. Excellent image. Excellent work. All right.
This was fun. I woke up at like 4 in the morning from my campground to get here. This is it's a 80-mile drive to get here. And when I got here at sunrise, it was raining, and I wasn't here at this spot. And it rained for quite a while. And so I just took a nap. And I woke up, it was starting to clear. So I started driving to this point here, and the light just got miraculous as the clouds were breaking. It was a gorgeous drive. The scene behind me is absolutely gorgeous.
All right.
And this is Humboldt. That's Humboldt Bay on the right and the Pacific Ocean on the left.
Okay.
This is a spit of land that creates the bay, so to speak.
This is north of San Francisco?
Yes. This is probably about 60 miles south of the Oregon border.
Oh, this is way north then.
Yeah. And there's a handful of people in the bay on the right side there. I guess they're clamming. The water's really shallow. They were out there pretty far, just in muckers and just digging. So I assume they were clamming. There's a road there that goes all the way out to Spit, but there's really nothing that exciting out there. I like this picture. This is a severely cropped picture too. The original had a lens flare off to the left I couldn't get rid of, so I just cropped out the left.
Okay.
And there was a spot on the right, upper right sky, that dark cloud was really annoying. And if I lightened it any more, it just blew out. It blows out that whole sky. So that's about as light as I can get it. Um, I really tried getting the wisp of rain in the background to show up more, and
Oh,
I just couldn't. And I can only do so much.
you talking this here where it's raining?
Yeah, you see the three clouds or something that come down to touch the ground.
Oh yeah, right here in the middle. Right.
Yeah, yeah, in the middle, and off to my left. Yeah, you could tell it's raining right over there, and there was the storm was returning, so it was just as exciting out there, but it was just ocean and clouds, so it wasn't that exciting as pictorially.
Oh, this is a wonderful image.
I like this one a lot.
I mean, I really, really do like this. I'm just gonna try something here. You see what I'm doing with structure?
Yeah,
You want to highlight that rain?
It's pretty dramatic, but yeah.
Yeah, just put a control point on the dark area around these three clouds that are coming down.
Yeah.
And add structure to flavor.
Yeah,
And
took care of it.
And that'll just something that small will take care of that. And then you can also drag this over here. Okay.
That's a little too dramatic for me.
All right. Well, it's in the eye of the beholder. So we're going to stay with your vision. But I mean, if you see something like this in the future, that's the easy way to do it. You don't need anything else, just a little bit of structure. And a little bit of go a long way. So you have to do it to your taste.
In processing, I was trying to bring out a lot of the flavors of green in the picture.
Oh yeah, you did a good job.
It took a while, and then the water coming through it. That's been complete. That was been worked on a lot.
I really like the brightness of this water here. It has a wonderful platinum look to it.
Mm-hmm.
It works very well. The sky is nice, a nice gradient of blue across.
Yeah, the sun's on the right, so to speak, as it's rising.
Yep. No, this works very well, and I do love the fact that you captured the storm out in the background. That adds so much mood to this image. Yep, this one gets my vote. Maybe the best picture of the evening. We'll have to decide that after we look at the others. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, that's it. Since you said that you wanted to highlight the storms a little bit more over there, it's just that simple, okay?
Yeah, I was concentrating on the whites instead of the darks.
No. Yeah, it's the dark that you concentrate on when you want to bring out cloud structure. Okay. Lovely image. It works very well. Okay, so now we're going to play with black and white.
Yeah, we're playing with black and white. This is, I forgot the name of the place I was at. It's just a big redwood forest. This is where I was whining and complaining to you all about how hard it is to find a composition within a forest.
Yeah.
It drove me crazy. And with the redwood trees, this one is not a huge species, so to speak, but they're just so monolithic. You can take a pic. It was just nerve wracking. So I tried doing the small and large comparison, and I came across this, and in the image you can see it kind of looks like it's encirculated, like a little planter of some sort. So this is the best I could do, is finding a composition. I really wanted to try and bring out that fern a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did. It almost looks like one of your guys' what do you call it? Your fancy cameras, the
Infrared.
infrareds. But I think it may be just a yellow filter, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. In color, this thing is nothing but green, with the
Yeah.
exception of the tree, and so it would have been very monochromatic, and everything was just muted into each other. That's the reason for the black and the whites. Tried to bring out all the different shades of gray that I could, um, playing off the near whites
Mm-hmm.
against the darks, so to speak. High contrast image. Um, that was it. That's the only thing I came out of a day of looking through the forest. No sun, rainy, you know, no stark shadows to look for. You know,
The best kind of forest photography weather.
I didn't know that at the time. I would have loved to have one of those sun streaking through the sky things, but just didn't work.
Yeah. Okay. Good detail shot, and there's nothing wrong when you're overwhelmed by the monolithic trees to go in for detail. Every time I go to San Francisco, and we go there twice a year for 2 weeks at a time, we visit one of the redwood forests, and I have the same exact problem that you do. How on earth do you find a scene that you can capture that tells a story that you want to tell? And for me, it's always falling back onto the same old thing, laying down and shooting up. But while that works, you get tired of that. So this is,
and it's been done many times before.
Yeah. This is nice. But I'm going to give you some hints here, okay? First of all, you've really crowded the fern.
Okay.
You need more space down here. You don't want this looking like it's going out of the picture.
Yeah.
You need at least, an inch or so past the end of this branch down here at the bottom. So just kind of be aware of that when you're shooting, okay?
That was one of the critiques in my level 5 critique. I'm cropping too tight.
Yeah, and that's what's happening here. This is just too tight. All right. Now, what did you use for your black and white conversion?
I was thinking of that this afternoon, because more and more I'm trying to get away from the software, and I haven't really found anything yet because I've been reading too much. That's why I can't remember.
All right.
It may have been Nick, but I doubt it.
Okay, On1 has a good black and white converter too. All right. But when you're playing with these filters, okay, remember that you started off with a color picture, and always edit the color image first to get the colors right before you even consider jumping into the black and white. It gives the black and white software more data to work with. Okay? And what I want you to think about is the normal black and white filters. Your red, your yellow, your orange, okay, your green. And Nick, right about here, when you bring the Nick filters up,
right,
it'll have the color filter here in Silver Effects right about here.
Right.
And if you experiment with those filters, you'll be surprised at the separation that it gives you in the background between these trees. But especially if you play with that green filter when you're in the forest. You've got really good differentiation here between these various plants. This is bright white, this is white here, darker green leaves here, some sort of a middle ground here, and they're all different. So this is very well processed, okay? You get a star grade on this, with the exception of down here, you're cropping too tight.
Yeah.
How much space you got here? Between here and here? you need at least the same down here in the bottom.
So it's balanced.
So that it's balanced. And if you ever decide to print and frame this, the matte edge is going to cover part of this plant, and that's going to look terrible. Okay.
Got it.
So it's hard. It's hard for me to think of this too. When I'm taking a picture, you know, I'm zooming in for the best subject presentation in the viewfinder of the camera, and I'm not thinking about the print. And the print's different, so you got to think about that too when you put that camera up to your eye and you're looking through it. Think to yourself extra space around the outside edge of that picture so you can do something with it in your printer as well.
Well, there's been many times I've been looking through the viewfinder and your little voice is haunting me in the back of my head.
Oh, good. Good. I have achieved that's my stardom right there. I'll take that. All right. But no, I like this. And your post-processing is lovely. I mean, like I said, I'm seeing different graduated shades of green in here. This just works very, very well.
Actually, I could tell you the conversion was Photoshop. It's coming to me now. And it was, I used apply image in Photoshop.
Okay.
I was working with it there.
Okay.
Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, don't give up on Nick just yet.
Well, I just want my options open.
Ultimately, we're probably going to lose it. But like I said, On One has a really good black and white. MacFun has a good black and white, okay?
All right.
So there are going to be other tools out there. You're just not going to have the control points, okay?
Got it.
No, I like this, and we've got this face nose thing happening here.
Isn't that interesting? Not too many people see that. It's a burl. It's called a burl, B-U-R-L.
Yeah.
Of a redwood tree, and it kind of looks like a head of some sorts, doesn't it? You see it?
Yeah, I do.
I see what you're doing with the face. I'm talking about the nose, the long nose on the bottom.
Yeah. No, I am. I'm seeing it. That was the first thing that I noticed. And you got to be careful in a mixed audience. Sometimes when you're taking pictures of the tree, you can get some really suggestive shapes too.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Sex sells.
That's true. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job on this, especially the post-processing.
Thank you.
But you got to watch this crowding. Okay.
Got it.
All right. All right.
This is my favorite because it took so damn long to do. Again, it's been cropped from the original. It was suggested that I do it in black and white, and I took that as a strong challenge. At first, it was nothing to it. You know, I'll just transfer it in black and white and see what happens. But I didn't like it, so I just kept doing it. I did this image 10 times. And
post-processed it 10 times?
I've redone it 10 times to get it the way I wanted to. Yeah, it was a struggle for me to do this one. A lot of gradients.
Tell me what your vision was before I offer any comments on this.
Well, I'm looking at your screen now, not my image. There we go. I like a lot of what it shows now. It's pretty close. And this is real close to what I wanted. There's one flaw in it that I saw afterwards, and it was too late to fix. And after redoing it about 10 times or so, I didn't want to go back and do it because I've already flattened the layers and stuff.
Yeah, what was it?
The halo.
Oh, well, you know, where was the sun?
Center. That bright spot in the center, yeah.
Yeah, you may not have been able to get rid of that halo. Sometimes when the sun's back behind us, strong edges around rocks, and when the sun's looking through clouds or fog, a little halo as well.
Well, it wasn't in the original. The halo happened after I did the gradient on the sky, when I changed the contrast on it, and that's where the halo came out. And that was near the beginning.
Okay.
I do like the way the white water shows up. That's what I wanted. I like the gradations of black on the sand. I like the way the sky turned out. It's got a small amount of banding, but I got rid of some of it, but it's still there. I like the image, but it's close to what I want to do in black and white.
How did you want the water to be?
Pretty much the way it looks.
Okay, a little bit of softness from a long exposure, but yet some motion.
Yes.
All right.
I didn't want to take out the motion completely. I mean, I didn't want to freeze it, but I wanted to show that it was moving. I like the silkiness of the receding water and stuff, and I like the way that the waves, it still shows form in the waves.
Yeah. Okay. What did you decide to do about the body that's in the picture?
I ate it.
See, here's the chest. Here's his head.
Yes. Looks like a big whale, doesn't it?
I don't know. It looks like a big gladiator with his head cut off, laying here on top of his body. Black sand. What was the real color of this? And
not black. Typical California sand, but it did have the shades in it like that. It was pretty, little more granular than the sand I'm used to.
Yeah, it does. It looks pebbly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's almost volcanic. But yeah, it was brown. But don't forget, we're at sunset where things change.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I like this too. Any longer on the exposure and it might detract from it. We're not getting any haloing on any of the other rocks.
Nah, it's just that sky gradient.
You can go in here with a really soft dead brush and just go over this line and that'll go away.
Not since I flattened the image.
Well, no, you can still do it.
Oh.
Yeah, you go here and you choose the stamp. All right.
I tried that. I couldn't do it.
And then you have to choose a really, really soft edge brush, something like this, or even something that's dotty. Let me increase the size of that so you can see what that brush looks like. Something like this, and make it very, very small. Zoom in like this brain pattern here, and see it.
Yeah, I've never used those brushes.
Make the brushes really, really small. Set the opacity down to about 70% or 60%. All right, and then just zoom in on that edge. Oh, there's a guy standing there.
Yeah, that's my little secret guy.
Aha. Anyways, go back to the brush, make it really, really small, and just go down here and do your selection point right here and just start going over this, okay? Just a little at a time. And it won't take long, and you can go through it. All right, and actually a different brush might work better. It would help if I had the right one selected, wouldn't it? Golly gee. Select down here. And remember, the opacity set low, so it's gonna be slow doing this. You can't set the opacity higher and go through this. And I put, you know what I did?
You did what I did. It's
I
kind
did
of a little.
selection. I'm going to deselect. There we go. And see how see how I'm making that go away?
Yeah, but look how dark it is. See, that's what happened to me. I kept coming up with a
Well,
darker
the brush
edge.
is too big. You have to make the brush smaller, and you have to zoom in more.
So it's a 1 pixel brush and just zoom in the hell out of it.
Well, you don't need 1 pixel. But what have I got this? I've got this at 3 now.
Yeah.
And just work your way up the edge. And because the opacity is so low, you have to go over it again and again. See how I'm starting to bring that in now?
Yeah, it's looking better now.
So you can save this picture as you've done it simply by going in and doing this. Experiment with different brushes. There's a lot of them, okay?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Okay, I mean, there's grass. If you want to add leaves to the top of a tree, okay. There's all kinds of really, really nice brushes in here. And you can go to the cloud and download free brushes from the Adobe site too.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, no, this is an easy fix. You can fix this in 5 or 6 minutes, but just by going over this like this.
All right.
All right. And the opacity is going to determine by how much you have to go over it. I normally work at about 70. Okay.
Yeah, I use opacity quite often,
Okay.
especially
And
dodgy
when you go back out to normal viewing, you can't see what we did here, other than the fact that there's no halo in there now. And it was quick and dirty. I didn't really take my time and do a good job, but you know, it's something that you can do, and you can fix this if you desire to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is a lovely image. I like this. I like the texture of the sand. I like the softness and the texture of the water combined. I like the fact that we are getting a soft wave coming in here and here. It's very pleasing. I like this. I like the body that you've left here.
How do you like the mist on that rock to the left of where your mouse was?
Go right here.
I like that. The wave coming over.
A wave coming over. Yeah, I do too.
By the way, this is a lot closer to San Francisco.
Hey, where's this at?
This is near Bodega Bay, just slightly north of Bodega Bay.
I don't know where that's at.
Russian River, Sonoma County, just north of Point Reyes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think is the furthest north I've gone to date is I've explored Point Reyes a lot.
A little bit north of there, about 60 miles north of there.
Yeah, I originally went there to visit that boat there in the town.
I remember your boat.
Yeah. But no, well done. Good job on everything.
Thank you.
I expected no less from you on this.
That's a pretty picture.
Yeah, that's the Roanoke Marshes Lighthouse on the bridge crossing over to Meg's Head Island. This is Meg's Head Island, these dark trees here. Okay.
All right.
And this is just a little island there, and we always go there at sunrise when I do a workshop there, and we visit this lighthouse at sunrise.
Yeah, it's an interesting capture because you got the lights in there too.
Yeah.
That changes things.
Yeah, we get wonderful reflections off the water. But all right, let me bring this back. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Richard, you look so tired.
Hi.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. This was a real good set of level 10 images. I have no qualms whatsoever about any of the images that you presented here. Forgive me for the little picky things that I showed you, but those are no big deal.
That's what I need to hear.
Use them if you want. Don't use them if you want, because they're just small things in the total cosmos of your images. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, good. You are leveled up. Let me stop the broadcast here.